All right, we are going to find the quotient on quarter 3, week 3, day 2. All right, so we're going to have to rewrite this with a 24 outside of the box. And that's the divisor. And then the dividend is 22,080. I always put zeros at the end of the decimal just in case, so we'll see. All right, so how many times does 24 go into 2? It doesn't. How many times does 24 go into 22? It still doesn't. How many times does 24 go into 220? Well, that's almost 10 times, so I would say probably 9 then. Let's see if that works. 9 times 4 is 36. Okay, 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 3 more is 21. Then we subtract. All right, we can't take 6 away from 0, so we're going to have to borrow from the 2, make it a 1. All right, so this becomes 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. All right, and then all of the rest of this 0, or 1 minus 1 is 0, 2 minus 2 is 0. So it's just 4. Bring down the 8. All right, how many times does 24 go into 48? Well, 24 times 2 times 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract that. Becomes 0. Bring down a 0. How many times does 24 go into 0? Obviously, 0 times. All right, so the answer is 920. That would be the quotient. Next, we need to find the product, which means we are doing multiplication. So when you see the word product. All right, so we are multiplying, which means we don't have to line up the decimal. We're just going to put 743.2 times, well, we'll just put the 0 and 0.045. Again, we don't have to worry about lining up the decimals. Okay, let's go ahead and multiply then. We have 5 times 2, which is 10. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 more is 16. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 more is 21. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 2 more is 37. Okay, we'll put the little space here. Now we're done with the 5. Now we're over to the 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 more is 17. And 4 times 7 is 28, plus 1 more is 29. All right, at this point, we have a 0 and a 0, which are the next ones, which we could put a spacer here and a spacer here and put 0, 0, 0, 0, and then do another thing with spacer, spacer, 0, 0, 0. It's just not going to matter, so I'm just going to stop there. 0 plus nothing is 0. We have 6 plus 8 is 14. And then we have 2 plus 1 is 4. 7 plus 7 is 14 again. So we have 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 3 more is 13. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. At this point, we have to see, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers that are to the right of the decimal. So we have to move over 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer becomes 33.444, and then we could put a 0 after that if we wanted to. But there's our answer. 33.444 is the product. The ratio of sugar to flour is 2 to 3. So the 2 goes with the sugar. The 3 goes with the flour. So if there are 6 cups of sugar, how many cups of flour are there? Well, we want to get from 2 to 6, and I guess we can pick any of these here. Well, what does it take to get from 2 to 6? Well, 2 times 3 will give you 6. So what do you have to do with the flour? Times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. There's our answer. How many cups of flour are there? There are 9 cups of flour. What is 28% of 95? So about a quarter of 95, right? Because 25% is close to that. So what is 28%? Remember our little secret. 28% is 0.28. And we know that that's the case because 28% is also 28 over 100. Okay, and 28 divided by 100 would be 0.28. So these are all the same, 28%. 0.28 and 28 over 100 are the same. Of typically means times, so we're going to multiply. So we can either do 95 times 0.28 or 95 over 1 times 28 over 100. Either one of those is going to give us the answers. So just to have a change, let's do 28 over 100 times 95 over 1. Remember, we could do it a different way, but we'll just look at it this way. All right, when we have fractions to multiply, we can see if we can cross-reduce, and we know that 5 goes into 100 and 95. So I know that 100 divided by 5 is 20, right? So we're already going to simplify that. And then 95 divided by 5 is obviously going to be 19. 19 over 1. All right, so then we can actually do some additional reducing, maybe because these are both even numbers. So what's half of 28? Well, that would be 14. Half of 20 would be 10. So 14 over 10 is the same as 20 over, or 18 over 20. Actually, we can reduce that even more, right? Half of 14 is 7. Half of 10 is 5. And that's about the best we can do. But now we have to bring this 19 over 1 over here. Okay, so let's look at this. So we have 5 times 1 is 5. And then we have 19 times 7, which is 133. So basically at this point we have to divide how many times does 5 go into 133. All right, how many times does 5 go into 13? 2 times. So we have 3, bring down to 3. How many times does 5 go into 33? Well, 6 times, we'll make it 30. And this becomes 3, have the 0 here come down. How many times does 5 go into 30? 6 times again. 6 times 5 is 30, so that's the answer. So 26.6, okay, is 28% of 95. 26.6. All right, and again, we could have just done it this way where we did 95 times, 0.28. And if we would have done it that way, we would have gotten the same answer as well. But, we could do it either way, and so there's our answer. Okay, we are going to evaluate the expression using PEMDAS. Parentheses first, then exponents, then multiplication, division, and addition and subtraction. So, the first thing you have to do, what's in parentheses? Well, what's 3 plus 4/6? Well, it's 3 and 4/6. And actually, I already can see that I can actually simplify 4 over 6. So it's actually 3, half of 4, because 2 goes into each one of these. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And a lot of times we use 2/3, and we know that 2/3 is basically 0.6 on and on and on. So it's basically 0.6 for as long as you can go, forever. So anyway, there's that. So let's go ahead and bring the rest of it down. So we have 28 divided by 7 plus that, 3 2/3. Okay, so the next one we have to do is division. So 28 divided by 7 is just 4, right? So we have 4 plus 3 2/3, or 3.6 repeating decimal. So what's 4 plus 3, or 3 2/3? Well, 4 plus 3 is 7 2/3. Or you could actually write 7.6 with a line over it. Or if you want to round it, 7.67, because the next number after that is a 6, which is 5 or above. So these are all good answers. 7 2/3 or 7.6 with the repeating decimal, or 7.67. Okay, now we have to solve for y, which means we need to get y by itself on this side of the equal sign. So remember, you're going to do the opposite operation of whatever is happening here. 8 plus y, that's addition. So we're going to subtract. We're going to subtract 8 from both sides. Okay, so if we have a positive 8 and a negative 8, that is 0. That is nothing left. So I'm going to put the equal sign, and the only thing left on this side is the y. Now we have 9 minus 18, or 9 minus 8. I'm not sure why I said 18. 9 minus 8 is 11. So y equals 11. Okay, actually, I'd like to put the variable first. So y equals 11, or 11 equals y. Either one, but there's your answer. Y equals 11. Find the rule and solve for n. So if we put the number in that's on the x side of the input-output table, something happens, and it becomes this side. It becomes the y. So let's see, 5 plus 6 is 11. So maybe the rule is plus 6. So let's go to the 6 and see. 6 plus 6 is 12. Okay, well, we already ruined it. So plus 6 is not the rule. So what do you think? Can you guys figure out what is the rule for this? I think I might know this one. So if we take 5 times 2 and then add 1, that gives me 11. And then if we do 6 times 2 and add 1, 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. And then this one as well. So the rule is going to be whatever it is times 2 plus 1, because 10 times 2 is 20, plus 1 is 21. All right, so the rule is x times 2 plus 1. That's the rule. So if that's the rule, then what is n? Well, I guess this should be n. So, no, that would be x. My bad. Okay, so x times 2 plus 1. So n would have to be 8 times 2, which is 16, plus 1 is 17. So n equals 17. So here's the rule. X times 2 plus 1 is the rule, and n equals 17. Christian is going to paint the wall underneath the staircase. How many square feet will need to be painted? Okay, well, this makes sense because, you know, a staircase kind of goes up and over, up and over, up and over like this. Okay, so underneath the staircase, the wall is typically a triangle shape, right? All right, so let's find the area of that, and that's how much square feet he would need to paint. So 12 times 10, because remember, area equals base times height, right? So we have 12 times 10, which is 120 feet squared. So is that our answer? No, because that would actually be the area of an entire rectangle, right? But we just want the area of this triangle right here. So we're just going to divide that by 2, right? Base times height divided by 2. So what's half of 120 is 60. So that's our answer, 60 feet squared. Okay, so underneath the staircase, how many square feet will he need to paint? 60 square feet, because it is just the triangle. Okay, just the location under the steps, not the whole rectangle. Okay, there we go. Find the missing side. Okay, we know that the volume is 252. We know that the length is 12. The height is 7. We don't know the width. That's what we need to find out. Okay, so I kind of wrote it right down here. Length is 12. Width, we don't know it. Height is 7. And 252 is the total. All right, so we have to actually multiply 12 times 7 first. Okay, and that will give us 84. So at this point, we just have to say 84 times what number will give you 252. So right over here, we did this. 84 times W equals 252. To get W by itself, you divide by 84, okay, and that gives you 3. So W equals 3.